Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Real News Daily. I'm your host today. If you're a fan of Hollywood movies, you might have heard about President Trump's plan to impose a 100% tariff on foreign-made films. But is this move as clear-cut as it sounds? Let's dive in and explore the legal and logistical hurdles that come with such a policy. So, what exactly does Trump's proposal entail? In essence, he wants to slap tariffs on foreign-made movies, claiming they're a threat to national security. But is that really the case? The White House hasn't spelled out the specific authority it plans to use, but experts say it's unlikely to be based on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, which has been used in the past to ban TikTok. Now, you might be wondering why this law is a problem. It turns out that there are specific allowances for the free flow of informational materials, including films. In fact, Congress had to pass a separate law explicitly authorizing the TikTok ban because the original law wouldn't allow it. And that's exactly what's happening here. But wait, there's more. Even if Trump were to move forward with his plan, there are practical questions about what transactions would be affected. Tariffs are typically imposed on goods, not services like films. And since movies are transmitted digitally, it's hard to see how they'd even make it through customs. We're joined now by Emily Kilcrease, a senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security. Professor Kilcrease, what do you think about Trump's plan? How does this move align with his past policies on trade? Emily, well, if I were advising him, I think he could do it with Section 301, which is meant to combat unfair trade practices. To me, that's the most clear legal basis. Host, interesting. But isn't that still a bit of a stretch? I mean, runaway production has been a concern since the 1950s, so it's hard to see how this fits into that narrative. Emily, yes, it is pretty far out there to suggest this is a security risk. It'd be hard to imagine it standing up in court on a national security basis. Host, that's a good point. And what about the potential impact on Hollywood itself? Could we see more movies being produced overseas or even shot in the US with foreign casts? Emily, yes, that's definitely a possibility. The film industry is global, and if this plan were to go forward, it could lead to some interesting changes. Host, thanks for sharing your insights, Professor Kilcrease. Now, let's turn to Rep. Howard Berman, who played a key role in shaping the International Emergency Economic Powers Act back in 1988. Congressman Berman, you've been an outspoken advocate for Hollywood and the arts. What do you think about Trump's proposal? Rep. Berman, the fact that we disapprove of the government of a particular country ought not to inhibit our dialogue with the people who suffer under those governments. We are strongest and most influential when we embody the freedoms to which others aspire. Host, powerful words, Congressman. And finally, let's ask the question on everyone's mind. Can Trump really enforce this tariff? I mean, how would he even go about it? It's pretty clear that Trump is facing a lot of challenges here. This isn't a place where we've imposed tariffs in the past, so there's not a clear roadmap. And let's be real, folks, how on earth are they going to enforce this? The whole thing just seems like a logistical nightmare. That's all for today's Real News Daily. Thanks for joining us.